Hello, tabletop gamers of the internet. This is Ken from LITKO Game Accessories. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday before the 4th of July, 2022. We had a customer contact us today regarding some custom miniature movement trays which we produce, and it took us down a bit of a rabbit hole with regard to the navigation on our site, and in doing this, we thought that it might be useful for other people to kind of see what we did and how to navigate the movement tray category on here. And so we thought we'd do a little mini screencast, and that would be helpful to some people. So let's talk about what this customer was looking for. So this customer had contacted us looking for a custom version of the particular SKU GMT 145, and I'm going to go ahead and type that into our navigation right now. So there it is. It's a LITKO 5-figure horde tray for 25mm circle bases. I'm going to click on that and show you this. So a horde tray, for those of you that don't know, is kind of a irregular formation of miniatures. This one is made for 25mm circle bases. I can see a nice picture here of what it looks like when it's flocked and finished. This customer was not looking for 25mm, he was looking for 20mm. Well, LITKO designs these in-house. We manufacture these in-house in the great state of Indiana, and we thought, sure, that's no problem. But the first thing that we wanted to do was, of course, just look through our catalog and find out if we already had it. So that's the rabbit hole part of this. So we went over to the movement tray category. So this is the old navigation that we had before we improved it today, and I'm going to walk through what I did to try to find what this customer was looking for before we went down the custom design process for them. So this is the main movement tray category that you find on LITKO's website, and you simply access that by going to bases and trays over on the left hand side, and you'll find movement trays right over here. There's some subcategories, but I was specifically looking at the main category here. So I went there and I was looking for horde trays made specifically for 20mm circles, and looking through the navigation, we've got this nice filter system over here, and discovered that it was completely and utterly useless for what we were trying to do. You can kind of narrow this down by game system. You can narrow it down by theme. And this is all live filtering, so you kind of get a better idea of what you're looking for as you start to fill in your filter over here. But as it existed, you could filter by game system, you could filter by theme, you could filter by publisher. This wasn't helping us at all. So the other option we had was you can go back to the search bar and take a look for 20mm horde trays. So we tried that too. So 20mm horde trays got us 762 products in our results, and we're getting 20mm horde trays to start. We couldn't quite find the particular design that this customer was looking for. Again, it was 25mm horde tray that he had sent us as part of this request, and he was just looking for it to be scaled down to 20mm. Not finding it in any of these types of trays, and as we go further and further down the page, hey, it's right there, our 25mm circle base horde tray, but it's not 20, which is what we searched for. So we went back to the drawing board and we made our navigation for that particular category a bit more useful for everybody. So again, if we go to our main movement tray category out of the navigation, now what we've done to help narrow this down, because this is quite the category, we've got on the order of 800 products in our movement tray category, and that includes a number of different types of movement trays. We've got standard formation trays in here, roomy formation trays, and I can kind of go over what each of those are. The horde trays you've already been introduced to, skirmish trays, rank trays, coherency trays, and other specialty movement trays, and even oval movement trays. So the main helpful filters that we added were compatible base size over on the left hand side here. So now you can narrow it down specifically by what kind of base you're actually trying to put into the tray. You can narrow it down by the tray capacity, however many bases you're actually trying to put into the tray, and this is the max number. You can always put in blanks if you want to put in blanks. It'll also allow you to narrow it down by the movement tray type. And then, and this popped down a little bit. Let me get the filter back down here. And you could still narrow it down by compatible game system if that's the best option that you have. And keep in mind these different bars here that you can get access to get into each one of these categories. So anyway, this customer was looking for horde trays that were compatible with 20 millimeter circles. So let's narrow that down. All we do is we do it by compatible base size. We're going to narrow it down to 42 products. And that's going to show us rank trays. It's going to show us skirmish trays. It's going to show us those horde trays. We can narrow it down now to tray capacity. This customer is looking for a 5 base capacity. And lo and behold, here it is on this particular product here. This image is flipping as I mouse over it, but you can see it in the lower left-hand corner here, that 5 base capacity horde tray that this customer was looking for in 20 millimeter circle bases. Now this category is going to show you all of the different types of trays that we have available with whatever filters you're applying to this. This particular filter got us down to a few different types of trays here, one of which is these rank trays, which are useful for ranking up circular or pill-based figures. I think we even have some for oval figures, oval-based figures. And it gets them in a nice straight line, puts them in a nice little tray. Our skirmish tray line, this is a little bit different. It's a slightly irregular formation, but still fairly linear. And then down here is a specialty tray. This one is compatible with Oathmark. I think that may have something to do with the outer tray dimensions specifically, which is why it's designated for that particular game. But you kind of get an idea of how to narrow things down just by doing that. And I'm going to unapply some of these filters right now and kind of go through this a little bit more. What I want to do is I'm going to narrow it down to one of the more popular base sizes, which is 25 millimeter circle. And you're going to see a lot of options for those 25 millimeter circles, including horde trays, rank trays, skirmish trays. This one's more of a specialty display tray in a couple different acrylic colors rather than the wood that you see. All of the wood trays need to be flocked and finished. And so we're hoping that this helps narrow down this gigantic category a bit for everybody. And again, hoping this little mini screencast has been useful for everybody. Go ahead and add questions and comments into the below the video, and we'd be happy to get back to you.